We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss control structure in C. In our last few lectures, we already discussed many things about control structure. Control structure are used to manage the flow of the C program. We seen that control structure had main two categories. First is decision making statements and second is looping statements. We already discussed decision making statements. We also see different decision making statements like if statement, switch case statement, conditional operators, and go to statement. Now, today we are going to discuss looping statements in C. In programming, certain statements are required to be repeated for fixed number of times or till certain condition is satisfied. We have to solve some real-time problems like that where few statements are required to be repeat many a times. For example, if we want to enter 100 numbers, so can we write scanf statement for 100 times? No, we have to write scanf statement for only one times, and we have to repeat that scanf statement for 100 times. If the language does not provide any looping structure, then we will have write those statements again and again in our program. Due to this, the result will be very lengthy program, more typing, and unmanageable code. So, what is very lengthy program? Due to repetitions of statements in our program length will be a very long. More typing due to repetitions of statements, we have to or developer have to write type many a times and unmanageable code. The code will be also complex. The looping structure provided in C language are while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Now we'll discuss the types of loops. The types of loops are depend on where the condition is checked. According to this, we have two types. Now these two types is depends on where we have to check the condition. For that, over here we have two different types. First is entry control loop and second is exit control loop. We can see the flowchart for entry control loop as well as exit control loop. You can check over here. The program is started from here, and firstly the condition will be checked. If the condition is true, then and then statement will be executed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, then program will be take exit. Okay, but in exit control loop you can check first statement will be execute and then condition will be checked. If condition is true, the control will be passed again over here, then statements are executed, and again condition will be checked. If condition is false, then program take exits. Okay, if we want to take the example of entry control loop among our three loops, then while loop and for loop is the example of entry control loop, and only a do while loop is the example of exit control loop. Now we'll start with the while loop. While loop is helpful when we do not know in advance how many times the statements are to be repeated. In certain situation, if we don't know how many number of time particular statement or block of statement will execute, in such situation we'll use while loop. It is an entry control loop. We already discussed what is entry control loop. Now we'll firstly discuss the syntax of the while loop. So syntax for the while loop is like while, then we'll have to write condition into the bracket, and then body of the loop is started. This thing is known as body of the loop. Okay, now inside that body of the loop we have to write statement or block of statement. Now how this while loop will be executed? Then firstly while loop check the condition. If the condition is true, then and then the statement are executed. But if this condition is false, then the statement is skipped and control of the program will be directly given over here. Okay, if the condition remains true always, it will lead to infinite loop. It means if our condition will always be true, then this statement is going to repeat in infinite times. So this loop will be going to infinite loop. Now we'll take an example. For example, write a program to display first n numbers. So if we want to print first n numbers, for example, I'm taking n equal to 10. So I want to print the value from 1 to 10. It means 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So how we can do it? So for that, firstly we have to decide some condition. Till then, how many times loop will be executed, and we have to write some statement. So what will be the statement and what will be the condition for our this example? So for our this example, condition will be like that. For example, we are taking I for printing the number, then we have to write I less than n. Okay, so this is what the condition. Okay, it means that we have to firstly initialize the value of I. For example, I equal to 1. Then we have to write this condition. So that condition will do I less than 10. So till the value of I will be less than 10, then this loop is or this statement will execute. So what will be the statement for our program? So for that we have to print the value of n. So our statement will be like this: printf percentage d comma I. So we have to print the value of I. We can check this over here. So I equal to 1 while I less than or equal to n. This is what the condition for our program, and we have to write printf percentage d slash n I. So this value of I will be printed over here, and we have to increment the value of I, otherwise I will be at same value. Now we'll see one more example, and this example is write a C program which find the summation of all integer numbers between 1 to 10. So how it can be possible? So over here we have a range between 1 to 10. So how it can be possible? So we'll write code like this. Okay, we have to initialize the value of I with 1 because our range is start from 1. Then we are taking a variable. That variable is sum because we have to find summation of the numbers between 1 to 10. So we initialize the value of sum with 0. Okay, now we are making a condition. That condition is I less than or equal to 10 because our last value of our range is 10. Now we'll write statement like this: sum equal to sum plus 1 because we have to find the summation. So sum equals to sum plus 1. It means in first iteration of the loop, the sum value is 0 plus i's value is 1. So in first iteration value will be like this: 0 plus 1. So now new value for sum is sum equals to 1. Okay, now we are incrementing the value that by 1, that is I plus plus. Now control will be over here, and this over from here program will go to condition. Now condition will be checked I less than or equal to 10. Now I value of I will be increased over here, so now value of I equal is 2. So it will check 2 less than or equal to 10. Yes, condition is true, then this statement will be executed. Now this statement will be executed like this. Now value of sum is 1. So 1 plus I, value of I is 2. So now the value of sum will be 3, and we are incrementing the value by 3. Now control goes to here, and from here it will goes to condition. Now condition is check again, 3 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. Statements are executed, and the such situation is repeated again and again till the value of I will be 11. When I value of I will be 11, then condition is false and control is now directly given to here. Now next our statement is printf summation is percentage d comma sum. So value of sum will be printed over here. So I am executed this program, and output for this program is 55, because the summation of number 1 to 10 are 55. Now we'll see some more example related to while loop in our tool, that is Turbo C++. We'll start with the first program, that is write a C program which finds the odd numbers between 1 to 20 using while loop construct. Over here, firstly, they they are giving us a range, and that range is between 1 to 20. So that means that we have to initialize value from 1 and we have to move up to 20. So range given to us is 1 to 20, and I equals to 1. We are initializing the value because the value is starting from 1. Okay, then we have to go for condition. How we can decide the condition? What will be the condition of loop over here? For that, our last value of the range is 20. We'll write like this, I less than 20. Now find out the odd numbers. How we can decide the odd numbers? We already seen an example related to it. To find the odd number, we have to use modulo operator, and if we use modulo by 2 with some number, it will give us reminder. That reminder will be 0 or 1. If reminder is 0, then it is even number, and reminder is 1, then odd number. We are taking this logic into this, and we are writing condition like this: if I modulo 2 not equals to 0, then it will be odd numbers. So where we'll put this logic into this program? So over here in statement we'll write this statement like this: if modulo 2 not equals to 0. If this condition is true, then and then we'll write some printf statement over here, and we'll write the odd number, or we'll print the odd number over here. Now we'll see the demonstration of this program into Turbo C++. Okay, so firstly we'll write has include std io.h. Also we'll include another header file, that is has include conio.h. Okay, we'll start our main method, that is void main. We'll create the body of the main function. Okay, now we'll declared variable and also initialize. First variable is I, which we are using for mentioning the range, and we'll start I from 1. Okay, now we are using a method, a function for clearing the screen, that is clr scr. Now we are writing our while loop with the condition over here. Condition is I less than 20 because we have to print odd numbers between 1 to 20. We are creating the body of the loop. Now inside this loop we have to write the logic behind the odd numbers, and for that we are taking the help of if statement. Okay, we already discussed how we have to write it. So I modulo 2 not equals to 0. Now inside the if statement we have to write statement, printf statement, that is printf percentage d, we are using slash n, and then instead of percentage d we have to print the value of I, so we'll write I over here. And so after writing the printf statement we have to increase the value of I by 1. So for that we are using I plus plus. So for next iteration the value of I will be 2 instead of 1, and in each iteration the value of I is increased. Now we'll write the get here statement out of body of the loop. That's it for our coding. Now we'll check there are some error or not. For that we have to compile the program. Okay, for compile the program we have to press alt F9. It shows there is no error. Now we are going to run our program by pressing Control F9. Okay, so it shows us the odd numbers between 1 to 19. Now we'll discuss one more example related to while loop, and this example is write a C program to find factorial of a given number. Okay, so first thing is how we can find the factorial. It is a mathematical concept. We always know that we are writing n factorial. So how we can find the value of n factorial? So for that equation is like this: n factorial equals to n into n minus 1 factorial. If we are taking the value of n equals to 5, then it will write like this: 5 factorial. Then the simplification of this factorial is like that: 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. It means that the value of n is decreasing by 1 till we have to till the value of n will be 1. At the end the multiplication of these five numbers are 120. So we can say that factorial of 5 is 120. Now for that, first of all we have to take input from your user. That will be do like this. How we can take the input? For that we have to use scanf function. Okay, we'll give a message to user, print and printf enter a number. After that we are writing a statement, that is scanf percentage d and comma n percent n. So this is the way we to which we can take input from this user. Now we'll initiate the value of I. So we are giving the value of n to the I because we have to go for the loop. Okay, so we are initiated the value I equals to n. So what will be the condition over here? So condition over here is I greater than 0. We already discussed about is over here. Why it is? Because the last value of I will be 1. So till 1 this loop will be executed. So that's why we are decided that condition will be I greater than 0. Now we are going to calculating the factorial. How we can calculate the factorial? For that I am taking a variable. That variable is fact, and I am initializing this fact is equals to 1 because the initial value for the multiplication is 1. Okay, so I am taking fact equals to 1. Now I am going to create statement, and that statement is nothing but logic behind the factorial. So how can we find this? Over here we are talking about factorials. Then the n into n minus 1, it means that we have to write like this: fact equals to fact into I. So our statement will be fact into 1, and then we decrease our value of I by 1. Okay, for that we'll mention I minus minus with this statement in this loop. Now we'll see the demonstration of this program into Turbo C++. Okay, so we'll start with the writing or linking our header file. So has include stdio.h, then we'll write has include conio.h. So we are adding two namespace over here. Now we are going to write our main function, and we are creating the body of our main function. Now we are going to declare the variables. Over here we are using the variable I and fact. Okay, so we already discussed, we are initialize the value of fact by 1, then we are using the function to clear the screen, that is clr scr. Now firstly we have to take some input from the user, and that input is nothing but a number for which we have to find factorial. So we'll pass a message to user that enter a number. Okay, after passing this message we'll take input from the user, that is, for that we are using scanf function %d, and we'll write and person number. Okay, we are missing to declare it, so we'll declare it also. Okay, now we are going to write the while loop. Before that we have to give the value of number to I, so for that we are writing I equals to number. Okay, now we are going to write the while loop with the condition. We already discussed the condition. The condition will be I greater than 0. Okay, now we are creating the body of the loop. Inside the loop we have to write the statement. All we already discussed what are the statement. That statements are fact equals to fact into I. Okay, then we have to decrement the value of I by 1. Okay, how this statement will be executed? So initially value of fact is 1. Okay, and initial value of I will be number. For example, we are taking the value of number is 5, then initial value of I is 5. Okay, so in first iteration, what will be the value of fact over here? So 1 into 5, so new value of fact is 5. Okay, then value of I is decremented. Now it is go to the while loop and it will check the condition. Now value of I over here is 4 by decrementing 1. So 4 greater than 0, condition is true. Now statement is going to execute. So the fact equal to fact into I. Over here value of fact is now 5 and new value of I is 4. So 5 into 4 is 20. Now new value of fact is 20. Now we are going to decrement the value of I. Current value of I is 4. So now it is going to decrement and new value of I is 3. Now it is going again to the while loop and check the condition. Such steps are repeated till the value of I will be 0. Okay, that's it. After the loop we are going to print the value of factorial. For that we are using printf function. We will write like this: factorial of percentage d is percentage d. So we are going to write like this: factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, for that we have to write, for this first percentage d we have to write the value number, and the our answer is stored in fact, so we have to write fact over here. And now we'll write get ch over here. Okay, firstly we'll save the program by pressing F2. Now we are going to check there is some error or not. For that we have to compile the program, and to compile the program we'll press Alt F9. So we see that there is no error. Now we are going to run our program by pressing Control F9. Okay, it is asking us enter a number. For example, we are entering 5, so it will gives 120. Okay, we are running it again. For example, Control F9. If we are pressing 6, so it will give us 720. Now we are going to see one more example, that is write a C program to reverse a number. Okay, first we'll see the logic behind the reverse a number. If we have a number, for example 1 2 3 4, then output will be like 4 3 2 1. For that, firstly we have to separate these all numbers. Okay, so how can we achieve it? For example, we have a number 1 2 3 and 4. So how can we achieve, we can separate the last number from it? So for that we have to use the operator, and that operator is nothing, it is modulo, and we have to use modulo by 10, which gives us a last number. It means we give us a reminder of this number, and this is nothing but it is a last digit of the number, or this is 4. Okay, for doing the next separation, what we have to do, we need 1 2 3. So how can we achieve this? For that we have to write 1 2 3 4 divide by 10, which will gives us a 1 2 3. Now we for this 1 2 3 we will use for our next iteration, like this 1 2 3 modulo 10, and the value of it is 3. Now how we can combine these two value, because we need 4 3 2 1. It means we have to multiply last reminder into 10, and we have to add current reminder into it. For that we have to do like this, 4 into 10 plus 3, so it will be now 43. Now we are separating this, we are already separate these three. Now we are going to use 1 2. For that we have to use 1 2 3 divide by 10. Our now new value is 1 2, and now we are using it for next iteration. So now our next iteration will be like this, 12 modulo 10 equals to 2. Now we'll do same for this. Now we are using this value, and we are multiplying this value with 10, and using our and adding our current reminder into it, that is 2. So it will be 4 3 2. Okay, same way we'll do the next iteration. At the end we will get the number 4 3 2 1. We'll check it. Okay, so firstly we have to take an input from user which number they want to reverse. Okay, for that we have to give a message to user, enter a number, and then we have to write scanf percentage d comma and person number. So by these two statement we can take input from user. Now we are going to give the inputted value to I. For example, we are taking I equals to 1 2 3, then we are giving the value to I. We are initialize the value of I, then we have to write the logic behind the reverse number. So we already discussed. So now we are going to write the expression for them. So it will be like that, we are taking a sum. Okay, so what we are discussed over here, this number we will store into the sum. Okay, so for that we are taking a sum variable, and we are initialize it with 0. Okay, we initialize it. Now we are taking a variable, and that variable is for storing the reminder. We already discussed over here, we are find a reminder in each iteration, and for that we are using r. So we are taking r equals to I modulo 10. Okay, so after that we are writing sum. Okay, sum we are taking over here. What we are doing, sum into 10. Okay, so we are writing sum into 10 plus the value of the reminder. Okay, so we are writing our equation like this, sum equal to sum into 10 plus r. Okay, then we have to go for next iteration, and for next iteration new value for I is 1 2 3, and for that we are taking I equals to I divide by 10. Okay, so our statement we are writing over here like this. So condition for this program is still remain to discuss. So what will be the condition over here? So we can check that at the end the value of I will be 0. Okay, so we have to make a condition like that till when the value of I will be greater than 0, we have to execute the statement. If I will be 0, then the loop will be terminated. So we'll write the condition like this. Okay, so I greater than 0. So we'll take the condition like this, I greater than 0. Now we'll see the demonstration of this program into our tool, that is Turbo C++. Okay, so I'm already mentioned the namespace for this program, that is stdio.h and conio.h, and also I am mentioning the main function for our program. Now we are going to declare the variables. We have to use I, so I am declaring it. Then we have to take input from user. For that I am taking number, and we have to take a variable to store the reminder. For that I am taking R. One more variable we have to require, and that is nothing but it is sum, and we have to initialize the value of sum with 0. We already discussed why it is required. Okay, now we are using a function to clear the screen, that is clr scr. Okay, next we have to take the input from the user. For that we are giving a message to user, enter a number. Okay, then we are writing a scanf function to take the input from user. Okay, scanf inside the inverted comma we have to write percentage %d comma and person number. Okay, now we have to give the value of number to I. For that we have to write I equals to number. Okay, so now we are going to write while loop with the condition. We already discussed the condition will be I greater than 0. Okay, inside the body of the loop we have to write the logic behind the reverse number. We already discussed. Firstly we have to find the a reminder of a number. For that we have to use variable r, that equals to I modulo 10. Okay, then we have to write equation sum equals to sum into 10. We have to put this value into the bracket, and then we have to add value, and that value is reminder. Okay, then we have to go for next iteration, and for the next iteration we have to make the value of I, and for that we have to write I equals to I divide by 10. Okay, these three statement will execute repeat again and again. Okay, now after this while loop we are going to print the value, and that value is nothing but the reverse number. Okay, for that we have to write the reverse number for percentage %d is percentage %d. It means if we want to write like this, if the reverse number for 1 2 3 is 4 3 2 1. Okay, so for first value we have to we have to write number, because our inputted value is stored into number and our final output is in sum. So we have to write like this. Now we just have to write get ch. Okay, that's it. Firstly we'll store our program by pressing F2. I'm not giving the name, so I'm giving the name it to the program, that is reverse. You can give your name. Okay, now we are going to check is there some error or not. For that we have to press Alt F9 No, there is no error. Now we are going to uh, run our program by pressing Control F9. Okay, we can enter a number. For example, we are taking 1234 and it will give us 4321. The reverse number for 1234 is 4231. We can input any number, for example 53897, so it will give 7835. That's it from the while loop. In our next lecture we are going to discuss do while loop. Thank you.